Hello everyone, this is Brenda Campbell here. I'm an artist. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. Today we're going to do a little watercolor Zentangle project where I'm going to paint the string, which is step 4 of the Zentangle method, onto a tile with watercolor. So instead of using a pencil to draw the string, we're simply going to use the pencil to draw the 4 dots, step 2, and the border, step 3, and then we'll do watercolor for step 4. So this is part 1. I'm gonna have to wait till the watercolor dries before we can move on to part 2. So let's go ahead and begin. This is a Zentangle inspired art piece, and I am gonna just start with step 1, but we're gonna really abbreviate it. So get settled if you can. Sit up straight if you're sitting, and just kind of wiggle your shoulders and calm yourself. Try to bring yourself into this moment and take a deep breath in and out. And again, in. Rise up on the inhale and exhale, and just let your shoulders drop. And one more deep breath in and out. And that is it. So I feel better, and I am going to go ahead and grab my pencil here. For this step, we're going to be using a pencil. We're going to be using a paintbrush, a watercolor brush. I'm just using a water brush because it's easier and I don't need a cup of water. And we're going to use these 3 watercolors. I have a yellow, I have a red, and I have a grass green. So it doesn't matter what colors you choose, but I know that this pink and yellow, because it's really more of a pink, they mix really well, and I'm going to do some overlapping. So if you pick colors that are close on the wheel, these are kind of yellow and red are 2 of the primaries, but when they mix, they make orange. And for some reason I wanted a 3rd color. I just threw grass green in there. So just pick 3 colors, or pick a yellow and a pink and a green, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead with step 2, and I'm gonna put a dot in the corners. Step 3, create a border by connecting those dots. And now I'm going to put my pencil away. I'm going to pick up my watercolor. I'm going to start with the yellow. Now these are peerless watercolors. They come on flat sheets. They also have some liquid watercolors, but I'm going to just go ahead and use these. Now I like to take another piece of paper towel because I don't want this to be too saturated on my Zentangle tile, and I just tap a little off. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to get a little bit more. Now that I have an edge, I'm going to go ahead and paint it in. Now I'm keeping in mind that if I paint over my pencil line, then I will never be able to get rid of it, and I'm okay with that. So this is really saturated pigment in these paints. One of the reasons I love Nicholson Peerless watercolors. But one of the nice things about using water brush is that I can just add a little bit more water by squeezing some out. and I can just keep blending the pigment that I have without having to get more. And I'm just kind of taking this right up to my border for now. I don't like to plan. I'm just going to stay in the moment. So I'm going to put this more in the center here. So anyway, I don't want to commit to anything just yet. I'm just painting at the moment. Okay, so that is my first color. Now I'm going to clean off my brush, squeeze a little bit of water out, and then I try to brush it off. Eventually, as I squeeze, it's clear, and then I know I'm good. So now I'm going to move on to add some of this pink, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now this little bit here I'm going to tap off first. And now I am going to draw another line, come back here, pick up some more pigment, and then just paint this in. So don't get crazy about my techniques. I am pretty much self-taught, although I have taken at least one workshop class on watercolor. It was very fine arty, that's what I'll say, which is not a problem. But I like a little more whimsy, and so I am going to go ahead and continue with what I'm doing. Now, one thing I do notice is when I am blending two colors, I want to be sure that I'm blending where I want. So if I didn't want the orange to come down further into the pink, then I would want to do something about waiting until it was dry or something. I don't know. If you have your own techniques, that's wonderful. I'm not really trying to teach you watercolor here. I'm just trying to get a little bit of watercolor on my tile. And I'm going to draw tangles inside each of these different colored sections. Okay, kind of weird looking, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to set these aside for the moment. Pick up my green. And now I want to put some more green on here, but I'm going to leave some white space so that they don't bleed into each other. In fact, maybe I'll do this. Do something similar over here. All right. Just kind of refining some of the lines, widening them up a little bit, not getting crazy. Okay, there is my watercolor on my tile. I'm going to put those colors away, and we are going to have to let this sit for a few minutes to get completely dry before we can move on to the next step. If you're painting along, I hope you are, go ahead and let yours dry. When it is completely dry, then you're going to come back and we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Okay, everyone, I am back. My watercolor is completely dry. I left it overnight, so I know it's dry. And I have decided there are 3 tangles here I'm going to use. I'm going to use poke root, I'm going to use yen cut, and I'm going to use orleek. And I thought I might do like a waterfall of poke root to start, and then we'll just see where we go from there. I am using a Micron PN pen today because I think I want that wider line. And I'm going to go ahead and begin, but because I've waited for my watercolor to dry, I think I'm going to go ahead and just take a couple of deep breaths here to center myself and bring myself into this moment before I begin. Inhale and exhale. And another one. Okay, I think that's good. Alrighty, so I'm going to draw poke root in this pink orangey section. And I'm going to go ahead and start it up here. And it's just going to come down with a short line for the stem, or that line. Draw a little smile underneath it. And then we're going to draw our round berry shape. Another one over here. And when I reach that other berry, then I drew it behind. So far, I think I'm going to like this. That's a little tiny baby one. I was trying to make it fit into the section without cutting it off, but that's okay. Maybe I'll turn that into a Bronx cheer before we're done. We'll see what it looks like. I really like the variation in the color that you get with the Peerless watercolors. As I'm drawing, I can see all the different shades of orange, orange yellow, and then a really light spot here, which might be nice for highlights. Okay, I'm going to squeeze one more in over here. Then, oh, maybe I should put a little one over here. Another little one. Okay, I'm done drawing my poke root. So I think we're good with the first tangle. Now I'm going to draw the tangle or leak here in this yellow space. Or leak is gonna give us some texture. And I think that might be fun to put in this section. So I am gonna just draw some wavy lines. And then I am going to order those lines. Okay, so I've drawn all the lines in this direction. So now I'm going to start up here and draw the next set of lines. I kind of like it so far, but we're not done yet, so we'll see where we go with this. Okay, so that is Orlique. That's all there is to Orlique. Now we're going to draw yin cut. And we're going to put those in the sections that are left with the green in it. And I chose a grid tangle because I didn't want to follow these curvy painted lines I just want it to be something in the background, if you will. So I don't know what it's going to look like. That's half of the fun of Zentangle, is letting yourself be surprised. So let's go ahead and start drawing and find out what this is going to look like. So I'm going to draw my grid on the diagonal. Okay. Now I'm also going to do this section separately, so okay, so I've got my grid. Now I'm going to draw my lines. I usually start in the center and leave a sparkle or a broken section in the line in the center. And we're doing this one direction. Oh, I've already ruined it. That's okay. I'm going to leave it and see what happens. The point is, we're supposed to be doing every other section with this direction, and then we'll cross it over on the opposite ones. So I'm just going to ignore that, pretend like I did not draw it wrong. Sometimes I find that's the best way to overcome a misdraw. But it's all good. We can always add a Bronx cheer if we need to cover it up. And remember the little trick about making sure you're getting every other one, and that is to make sure that the one you're drawing next touches the one you finished at the corner. That's how I knew I messed that up, because it doesn't touch on the corner, it touches on the side. But that's okay. There are no mistakes. We shall overcome it. Okay, so now this one is on the side and this one is on the side. So we're going to start doing those. And these are going behind our poke root. Okay, I've got them all going the one direction, up and down, except for this one I missed, but that's okay. Now I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and we're going to draw the next group going the opposite direction. Okay, Interesting. I almost don't even, I can hardly even find the one. It's right here, but I'm going to leave it alone. I think once we get it shaded, it might be hard to even notice it. Okay, so now we're going to go over to this little section and we're going to do the same thing. It's just a much smaller section. Okay. Like I said, it's a much smaller section, so we'll be finished with this pretty quick. Okay, I think we're done with that. I think I might, because I do like drama, and I'm not real pleased with this little poke root that I drew there. So I do think I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of Bronx Cheer right over top of this berry. And Bronx Cheer is just black orbs, a little bit of sparkle, any kind of white space anywhere will work. And because we have watercolor, we might not have white space, but we can use white ink, white gel ink, to cover up our little red watercolor places and make them look more like highlights. And we just turn that into a little stem for our Bronx Cheer. So I don't think that looks too bad, but we'll see. We're gonna have to do some shading next. So we are finished with all of our drawing. I'm gonna put my pen away for the moment. I'm gonna get my pencil out. Yes, I'm gonna shade with graphite right on top of my watercolor. So I'm going to start with the poke root. I'm going to turn it upside down so I can put a little bit of graphite right where that smile meets the stem of the berry. So that's where we begin. And I have a pretty heavy hand, so I try not to put too much on to start with, because I can always add more. Okay, so we're just going to begin with all of these stem pieces, and I'm going to kind of blend it out and around the stem. So kind of come down on each side of the stem, and then I'm gonna just drag it around the perimeter, just with whatever graphite I have. I'm not gonna press too hard. I'm not using too much pressure because I don't want to tear up the paper at all. And I might have to add more anyway, so, but just a little bit to see. The more I go around and shade, the more berries I shade, the more graphite I get on my tortillon, so that will help. But like I said, I don't want to put too much on to begin with. I can always add more. Now, if you're using graphite over watercolor like I am, something you want to remember is that if you have too much or spread it too far, then you're going to lose all of that nice vibrant color. So I really am just going to be very sparing in my graphite so that I don't kind of dull my whole composition here. We don't want that. Actually, I don't think that's too bad, and I don't want to lose the nice watercolor. So I'm going to pick up my pencil, and I'm just going to add the smallest amount at the beginning of the stem. Because I don't really care if the stem is darker. It's a stem. It's okay. It's the berries I really want to be more colorful. Okay, and then just ever so lightly where I have berries that cross over, and I'm putting that graphite on the berry underneath. Okay. Oops. Pick my pencil back up instead of getting my tortilla. So first, I'm gonna blend out the stems so I keep my place and remember where I'm at. Okay, I got my stems. Now I'm going to blend where they meet. Just blend that in, not very far. I'm not going to pull it down too far because I want to keep that color. Okay, I think I'm done with my graphite on my poke root. So I'm going to go ahead next and do Orlique. Now Orlique is one of those texture tangles. I'm going to kind of use the curve of the line to place my graphite, and I'm going to go very light with this. So I'm really just using the side of my pencil. Then I'm gonna turn it, put a little bit on the other direction. So now I am, with my tortillon, going to do the same thing. Put it on its side and blend out this graphite because I don't want to make everything too dark. I want to keep some of that brilliant yellow. And I'm just kind of doing a little once over around the edge, but just using graphite already on my tortillon. Okay, that's good enough for that. And now our third tangle is the yin cut, and we are gonna just put graphite on the grid lines. And that will help make them look a little puffy. Like little pillows. Okay. Let's go ahead. You just kind of blend right on that line, bringing it a little bit on each side of that line. Turn it the other direction and do the same thing. And now you can almost see those sparkles or those broken lines give us the illusion of a highlight. You can see them a little better now that we've got the shading down. That's kind of cool. I'm also just kind of blending out the outside. Alrighty, now we're not done with our shading yet. Now we are gonna kind of go ahead and put shading between our tangles. Give it some more separation. Now I'm kind of bringing my graphite inward around the berries at the border because I think it'll look more natural. I don't know, maybe just making stuff up because, you know, I do that sometimes. And I'm just putting some in between on these sides too. Okay, now let's try and blend out these borders. Okay, I think I'm done with my graphite on the 3 tangles we did to begin with. And now I'm just going to put a little bit more just around my poke root, or excuse me, put a little bit more around my Bronx cheer. Give it a little dimension. Okay, now I'm going to put my tortillon away. I am now going to pick up my white chalk. I want to put a little bit of highlight with white chalk in some of these berries. So it's just kind of a little smile, if you will, but it's in the same spot on each berry, and I just kind of picked under the stem on the left side of the berry. And now I'm going to take a tortillon, not the same one that I used for my graphite because I want it to be clean, and I am just going to kind of lightly blend out this white chalk to give our berries a little bit of a highlight. I'm turning it so I don't get everything dark, because as I pass near the graphite, it sort of picks up some of that. Okay, I think I gotta get some more down here. And then I want to get my white gel pen. And I'm going to get my little black scrap and make sure it's working. Looks to be working pretty good. And what I'm going to do with this is I am going to make my sparkles on my Bronx cheer whiter by adding this gel pen to the spots I left. And this should help cover up that watercolor and give it more of a highlight. Okay. I don't think I need a whole lot more than that. So I'm going to pick my pen back up, and I am going to go ahead and put my chop on the front. I'll just put it over here. I can't decide. It's kind of peeking out from behind. And I'm going to flip it over. I'll sign it. And list our tangles. We had poke root. We had orleek. And we had yin cut. And then, because we had a boo-boo we wanted to cover up, we added a Bronx cheer. A little raspberry kind of berry there. And that's all there is to our little Zentangle inspired art piece. We used color. I don't know how I feel about these green lines. I'd kind of like them. I don't know, it almost looks like a pattern on a fabric with little pillow lines or something, quilted maybe. I don't know. I hope you drew along, and if you did, I hope you're enjoying yours as well. So that's about it for this piece. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to seeing you here, joining me for another video soon. Until next time, be you and be happy.